Just the way it goes. Just the way it goes. Degrees.
Sadistic Penguin Studios presents It's Getting Drafty in Here.
Drafty old farm.
The show of drafting random nonsense.
I choose business ethics.
And now, coming to you from his basement, a.k.a. Draft Headquarters, your host and draft master, Magnificent Stan.
Hello, welcome to episode 22 of It's Getting Drafty in Here. I am not your host, Magnificent Stan. Today is Tuesday, July 18th, 2023. And this episode of Drafty Pod is called Bluey Bonanza. So I'm going to be stepping out here. I just wanted to hop in, say hi, intro everybody here, and take it away, Jacki. This is all you.
Okay, thanks, Brian. So first of all, let me thank Brian and the Getting Drafty Pod and Sadistic Penguin Studios for having us here. We are very, very excited about the Bluey draft. We've been talking about it for months. So I'm glad that it's finally happening. So I'm just going to run down some intros here. Starting at the top, we have from the all sports scene, my favorite one of them, Steve Kniss. Steve, thanks for being here.
Of course. I'm so excited to be here. I'm glad the coup is complete. I'm glad we have finally stormed the Getting Drafty Pod and just taken it over.
Right. Me too. Actually, during the intro, it's like, oh, the draft master. Here comes Magnificent Stan. I'm like, excuse me.
How dare you?
How dare. Speaking of Magnificent Stan, our second panelist here's Brian's friend, Kevin. Kevin is here joining us.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
I said Kevin is hilarious on Twitter. Give him a follow. He's a great member of White Sox Twitter. So, Kevin, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. I take the pleasure of being the member on here with the least amount of followers. I'm expecting at least 600 more after this podcast. So thanks for having me on, Jacki and Stan.
Yeah, you're definitely going to get the Getting Drafty bump. It always happens.
The bump. Brian and I in high school, we did a thing where I told him I'd like to. We agreed that we would. We wrote it down on a napkin to do a podcast about a kids show. Also, Bartlett for America.
Hell yeah!
There we go.
Hell yeah, Kevin.
Thank you.
All right, and also joining us, two members of the 108 tourney. Team Fonseca is here. Bologna, who's one quarter of Chicago Sports Bum, and Julie, who's awesome. Team Fonseca, thank you for being here.
Yeah, he carries about half of the weight with the bums, though.
That's true.
I appreciate that. Yes, the most popular. America's
it's like half
most
him
popular bum.
and then half Johnny's mustache, and
that's it.
Dougie and Jason do some things too.
The mustache is a character of its own. So yeah. That's a good point.
It's got a good
It's really like
the lamp, I think.
Oh yeah, Jason's lamp. Jason's lamp is like pretty popular.
Fair.
So we've got some side characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're excited to be here.
Famous field goal kicker, Bologna from Chicago Sports Bums. All right, so we're gonna take it away. First pick in this draft is Steve. So Steve, hit us with it.
Yeah, let's do it. I know it's a Getting Drafty Pod. It was getting a little drafty in my room, so I'm just gonna wear this for the whole draft.
Nice.
We got the Bluey swag. We're ready to go. I was so thrilled. I was so excited to have the first overall pick because this whole night would have been ruined if I didn't get the episode I wanted. And Jackie, I see you. I know you.
I know.
Exactly what
I
I'm
know
gonna
what you're going to
pick.
pick. I know what you're going to pick.
I know
you son of a
know
bitch.
it is. It's something that I will tell anybody. I've been trying to just tell everybody, go watch Bluey. Tell all my film students, go watch Bluey. The show is incredible. They'll ask what episode to watch, and I always start with Sleepy Time. I think Sleepy Time is just a masterful episode. Coming at it from just a viewer, from an audience member, I think it's incredible. Coming at it from a parent's perspective, I think it's incredible. Coming at it from a child's perspective, I think it's incredible. I think when Bluey episodes really hit, and we're gonna have this talk a lot tonight, that there aren't bad episodes, they're just different shades of great. Sleepy Time is just perfect in my opinion. I think it's one of the best short films that's ever been that's been made over the last decade or two. And I wish that it could like be pushed past just this being a children's show, because I think just on an animated short level, I would put it up against anything that Pixar or Disney has originally put out. I know Bluey technically is distributed by Disney here, but yeah, I think Sleepy Time is just an incredible episode. And I'll give you one more fact about it. Great episode. Brian's been watching along because he didn't know really any Bluey episodes when we approached him about this draft, and he's been watching them through it, and he's still watching them, which makes me think like he actually is really enjoying them.
He's into it.
Mm-hmm.
He's into
but
it.
He finally messaged us a couple days ago. He finally got to Sleepy Time and told us, screw you, I think, because how emotionally manipulative that episode is. It's really hard to watch that one and not start tearing up a little bit towards the end. But yeah, I think it's just a perfect episode.
You son of a bitch, because Sleepy Time is my favorite episode. I just rewatched it a few nights ago, and I heard a fan theory about that show. So one of the fan theories is that Chili had a miscarriage at some point. And
I've heard that one too.
Yeah.
You've heard this one? Okay. So
Yeah.
when Bingo's in outer space and there's that one planet that's just kind of like dark and deserted, like that's supposed to represent that child. So the next time you watch it, if you didn't know that, you can cry harder when you watch that show.
Yeah, they've definitely alluded to that theory in multiple episodes. I don't want to spoil other picks, but there's a episode specifically where
episode's getting chosen.
A balloon pops, and
that
immediately,
episode's getting chosen.
Parents really but and then I wanted to just make a point to Steve's point of, you said quote unquote children's show. I think it's moved past that. I think it's almost like it's a family show. Like there's just as much stuff that resonates with parents, if not more, than the kids. Sure, it's animated. Sure, it's made for the children's audience, but it's gone so much past that already.
That's true. About a year ago, I was teaching a class last fall, and one part of the class was asking my students, what have you been watching this week? And I remember being so just surprised. This might have been a couple years ago, actually, right after it first started airing. And one of my students said that they were just watching Bluey episodes. It's a 22-year-old adult senior that's just watching Bluey, and that's what they're watching to like inspire themselves in the moment. And at that point, I'm like, okay, wow, there's something here. It's not just parents that are putting this on for their kids and then starting to sit down because the music starts to play and you're like, oh, this kind of looks interesting. And then 7 minutes in, you're like, oh my God, this show is incredible.
Yeah, I've never seen a kid show where as a parent, you just feel seen as often. I think it'll feel different when we do the Caillou podcast.
Oh my God. Caillou.
Bum of the week, Caillou.
You know what?
I just want to hop in real quick. I'm totally in on that. Let's do a Caillou one.
Okay.
You know what, Brian? Can we do like a draft of like the worst shows that parents have to watch? Because I want to be in on that.
That can be done.
Yay.
No, but I also want to reiterate what Jackie said. Steve, you quote "son of a bitch." I was 2, I
Kevin-
was keeping my fingers crossed, and I just might
Kevin-
you, and I already hate you. Sorry.
That's not your pick. You told me what your pick is. Why don't you tell me what your next? So tell me what your first round pick is.
So my next pick, I forget if I told you.
You did. I know what it is.
Do you think you know it? It
Well,
is.
I do think I know it.
Shout out Jacki
Now I'm
for
intrigued.
cheating and
I'm going with
basically colluding.
it's my turn, and I am picking. We're gonna go to Hammer Barn.
Wow. I didn't know it.
Wow. Okay.
Now I'm
pulled the
I'm
switch.
gonna steal your other pick.
I'm pulling the switcheroo.
Love it.
I just pulled up the synopsis just for those who aren't familiar. It's on a trip to Hammer Barn, Bluey and Bingo create their own mini homes side by side in the trolley, but Bluey quickly gets jealous of her neighbor Bingo. I feel like just what I was saying about feeling seen, so much about the frustrations of making a pizza oven, going shopping with your kids, which can be a miserable experience, and I also felt I always also appreciate the Australian nature of the show. It's just a different aesthetic you don't get watching a normal kid show. Like a Hammer Barn, I've even looked up, is very Australian, and I don't know if it's a real store out there, but the things they're shopping for are very Australian. So I thought that was cool. I like the bandit jealousy of was it Lucky's dad?
Lucky's dad had
Pat.
a pizza oven. Yeah.
Pat.
Yes.
Put some respect on his name. Pat.
Yes. Pat. We just
No,
learned
that's
his name was
Lucky's dad.
Pat, didn't we? So who is also I'm not sure we'll see in the other picks, is probably the greatest sport of a neighbor in the history of TV shows.
No kidding.
He just rolls with it, man. So mad respect for Lucky's dad, but Bandit would not be topped in the pizza oven category. So just love the episode altogether. My family have gotten a lot of laughs from it. I even just like the very monotone at the beginning. We're going to Hammer Barn. So that's
It's a
That is
question.
a dark horse pick.
Yeah. How many of you have had to add several new words to just the conversations you have with your kids based on what they've learned from the show?
Well, we call trash cans bins now.
Yeah.
Like throw it in the bin.
Oh, if I were to see a bin chicken, I would call them bin chickens.
And the
I called
letterbox.
something else. I forget.
And the
Letterbox.
Letterbox.
Yes.
We saw, anytime we leave the house, going to the bathroom before we leave is a tactical wee.
Yes. Oh, we use
like
bush.
that.
We use bush wee all the time when we're on vacation.
Yeah.
That
I don't know that
episode that you just said. Oh, I'm sorry, Jacki, but
Go
that
ahead,
was
Julie.
actually the one that I was looking for because I sent text to Peter like 10 minutes before this started for each season, all the episodes that I'm obsessed with, which is like half of every season. And that was the one I couldn't remember the title to. I love when they went shopping together and how it had to be everything identical. I love that.
Yeah, and I couldn't really. I got an only child, but I remember as we were kids, fighting and having to have the same stuff and all that. I'm sure you guys can relate to that.
Yeah, so I have 2 little girls. So every Bluey episode gives me like PTSD a little bit.
It really hits home.
Gets the shakes.
Yeah, a little bit like, oh my God, the fucking gnome. Just take the gnome. God. All right. All right. Good pick, Kev. That's not where I thought you were going to go. I hope that your pick that you told me is still there second round. It might not be. I might take it. All right. Team Fonseca, what do you got for your first round pick?
All right, I'm going to preface this. I'll let Julie make the actual pick, but I'm going to preface this by saying we had a couple different strategies. I didn't know if we wanted to go episodes that make you cry first, episodes that make you laugh first, because I mean they run the gambit, right?
Right.
But I think in the Fonseca household, this is the tried and true one of one, and it might be like a chalk pick. But we love Rita and Janet. We love the grannies.
Oh,
We love the grannies.
Wait,
my
which
daughter-
the original grannies or the
Yes.
That's a pick.
Okay.
Yeah, the original grannies.
Okay.
Now they've had
All right.
they've appeared in other episodes now, but
Yeah.
They just came back on the new ones.
they did. It was really good.
So my daughter loves Rita and Janet. She'll do the blanket, pretend like she's an old lady. And this might be different in a Mexican household, but we do say we slipped on our beans. Like that's just a regular thing we say all the time.
Nice. Good.
So, yeah.
I like
pick.
how you said you were
Yeah,
going to preface it and let Julie pick, and then you just did the entire pick yourself.
No,
as
she
well.
just hit me and said, "You do it."
So let me tell you, like you guys were talking about like Bluey phrases that have made your way into everyday life. This episode has a parenting trope that has made its way into my repertoire. And it's when Bluey gets pissed off because grannies can't floss and Bingo's not, and Chili says, well, do you want to be right or do you want to play with Bingo? And and can't I do both? No, you can't. I use that on my kids all the time. Like, well, do you want to be right or do you want this other thing?
I've had to use that at work a lot with my coworkers.
Yeah.
Do I want to be right or do I want to be able to continue to work with these people?
Right. And I work with senior citizens, so it's even more like, do I want to?
You work with Rita and Janet.
I really do. I really do. I know I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I don't want to get in trouble. All right. Okay. So it's my turn. And I faced the same dilemma, Peter. I didn't know whether to go with the sentimental ones or just the funny ones. And I think I have to go sentimental because like it was alluded to before, like I watch Bluey because I have 2 young kids, but I heard it described once as a love letter to parents. And that is the lens through which I see it. So I think I have to go sentimental. And so my first pick is Granddad. I pick Granddad.
Ooh,
That's a good one. The end is a gut punch.
Yeah.
It's a gut punch, man. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the show, it's the mom, Chili, goes to visit her dad who has heartworm, and he's supposed to be resting, but he's not. He's running through the forest with the kids. And at the end of the show, I'm kidding. God.
No, I knew it was going to happen. It's
damn it.
impossible to talk about this show without getting emotional.
She's in the place where she grew up, and she's like, wow, I remember when I was a kid, that was a really long time ago. And her dad goes, no, it was yesterday. And then it like, oh God, that's such a great show. And it just speaks to like every parent's greatest accomplishment and greatest heartbreak. So I picked Granddad.
That's a good one.
Excellent episode.
And no one better pick my fun one because that was going to be my next pick.
Also,
you
they
got the next pick, so you're good.
Yeah, it's Snake, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
it's Snake?
You go back to back, so you should be good. Brian,
That's something the host should know, right?
Brian,
That's something
I
the
saw
host
you
should know.
pull up that first cry in Drafty Prod history. I'm not so sure that's the case because I'm pretty sure Jason cried when Dougie picked Arachera and he threw a fit and left the draft. Not positive, but I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So you're saying one of us can pick Granddad again and just pass it off as a different episode?
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
exactly. Granddad on your mobile phone and not on the TV. Yeah.
Okay.
I also
so
like that his name is Mort, the granddad.
the granddad's name is Mortis. Okay. Thank
Yes.
you. I didn't even know that.
And his pal is outs him under the
Yeah, it starts with an M.
Maynard.
Maynard. Is that a bite? Is that a fish? That's a good one. All right. So yeah, I get to pick my fun one too. All right. My next pick is what I think is like the funniest episode. I lost it watching this episode. Facey Talk. I picked Facey Talk.
Nice.
That was on our list. We just watched it. We watched it today.
I just made Wes watch it today. I was
Oh
like, you
my
need to watch
God,
Facey
that
Talk.
one's so funny.
Too real. It's too real.
It's really too real. Muffin is my favorite character on that whole show, and just like her chaotic energy really matches like my youngest daughter. So she reminds me of Muffin. So I got to go with Facey Talk.
Muffin reminds me of me. I love it.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Goodness, Peter. Sorry.
That's true.
Oh, Muffin is just when Wes watched Facey Talk, my daughters asked him like, "Oh, did you like it? Wasn't it funny?" And he was like, "I don't like that muffin. I don't like that muffin." Yeah, I get it. So
Muffin definitely grew on me. It was like in the beginning, I was like, whoa, it's a lot. But
You just
the third
appreciate
season she shines in that last episode.
Yeah, she
The
does.
last 10. Oh my God, she's so good.
As a parent, you just appreciate the constant tired tantrum angle that they're given with Muffin.
And it had the sweet part too of the parents kind of like getting together and working out some differences in their parenting styles, and that was, you know, real as well. But that episode is just funny as hell. So Facey talk for sure. All right, we're gonna keep it moving. Let's go. Bologna and turkey. What do you got?
Okay, so this is my first. I was hoping that it would still be here. But speaking of muffin, I love muffin cone.
Muffin cone.
Muffin cone.
Muffin cone was one of those, like you said earlier, Jacki, like insanely changed my parenting from that moment that it ended, and I felt like all this weight had been lifted off my shoulders. I was having a really hard time potty training Scarlett, and I was very frustrated, not at her, just in general, of what else can I do to get this going? I feel so behind. Oh my God, I'm gonna get judged. Like, I didn't care what people thought of her, but you know, you think of people like, oh, what is she doing that's taking so long, this and that. And so in that episode, Trixie comes over and Muffin is wearing a cone because she won't stop putting her thumb in her mouth. And that's a very common habit that parents try to break with their kids. I didn't have to deal with that one, but it's pretty,
I did.
It's a well-known one, I would say, or maybe a common one.
When you're done, I have a story for parents about thumb sucking.
So I saw that and I was like, okay, I'm putting this and comparing it to the potty training, and Trixie just can't stop shoving her face with chips. She keeps saying she's good. I don't need this. I don't need this. And Chili's like, are you sure? And she eats the whole bowl. I love chips so much. I can't live my life without chips. And I'm like, I can't even not control myself around chips. Why am I giving her such a hard time? Anyways, she is potty trained. But it was an awesome episode, and I relaxed after that.
Just last week.
Nice. Just last week. Good for y'all. So my story about thumb sucking, my oldest daughter sucked her thumb for a long time, and my dentist, her dentist, told me how to stop it. And when he told this to me, I looked him like dead in the face, like, huh, that's very cute. You don't know my child. That's not going to work. But it totally did. And I was shocked.
Okay.
He said to take her to Build-A-Bear with her passy, have her build her little Build-A-Bear, take her passy, put it in the bear and sew it up. And then whenever she wanted her pacifier, she could give her little bear a hug. And it totally worked. I was floored. We still have Passy Bear. We have Passy Bear. So
that's so freaking cute.
It was cute, but I looked that dentist right in the face from Chicago Kids DDS. I'm like, really? You think
I would like foresee myself cutting up the new bear and ripping out the stuffing to get the Passy back because I can't make it through the night.
That's the muffin shit right there, Julie. That's the muffin shit.
That is for real.
Can I have one?
We were gonna have to do like Bourbon Bear.
I think so. I hear this a lot with Bluey, that it's like unfair expectations that Bandit is this great dad and Chili's this great mom. But I would push back on that because I feel like at the end of the day, here's where I'm going to get emotional. At the end of the day, parenting is really fucking hard. It is. And I think this show does such a good job at times of just showing parents frustrated in those times as they're also trying to figure it out. And I don't think you get that with a lot of shows. I feel like the parents often know what they need to do, or they're going to have a conversation, or they're not going to make the mistakes that you, me, and everybody on this pod make, because everybody makes mistakes as a parent. And I think it's just so refreshing to see that. And Julie, you talked about feeling like you're not alone. It's a show about dogs. It's a show about dogs, and it's crazy that's because you're totally right. Like, you watch this show and you're like, you know what? All of a sudden I feel better about
Yeah.
where I'm at,
Yeah.
and I feel better about feeling frustrated at my kids because that's just life. That's just parenting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's two perspectives. Sometimes it's you feel guilty for thinking parent is hard, or you kind of worry about other people like thinking, hey, it's not that hard because it's normal. And I think confusing normalcy and assuming that normalcy is easy because everyone has to do it for the most part. And then that's not true.
Yeah, and to piggyback off your point, Steve, we talked about it on the podcast 2 weeks ago. I think it was like Dale Earnhardt Jr. or somebody came out with that quote saying like it's unrealistic for Bandit to be that good of a dad or whatever like that. And I completely had the opposite point of view. Watching the show, it just makes you try harder. You want to do that. You want to play with your kids after watching a Bluey episode. You want to kind of be that dad. And I'm sure we're going to get into more Bandit episodes too, but like I've seen that a lot on the internet where it's like it's unrealistic. I'm like, no, man, just try your best.
Yeah, that's all you can do. Something my wife and I used to always say is we get to the end of the day with our like 6-month-old newborn or whatever it was. Is our kid falling asleep? Does he seem happy? Okay, great. We did a good job today. Does he seem sad? That's okay. You know what? We still did a good job today. It's just taking it one day at a time.
Fucking Bluey, man. Kevin, lift us up. What you got?
No, I will kind of piggyback on what Steve and the Bolognas are saying. That there's so much of the appeal is there's so much more to especially Bandit's character than this unsustainable dad stuff, which is I think a big part of the dialogue here on the show is fathers just kind of groaning like how can you live up to that? But there's so many like more smaller things with Bandit that I think show kind of a real dad facing real situations. That's why I'm picking Ice Cream as my next
nice.
episode. Yeah. It's not really about Bandit, except I feel like it's kind of about Bandit just making decisions to just kind of get through situations, like saying, "Oh, fine, you'll get the ice cream." It's kind of bouncing off his brother bailing on him, and in the middle of the park and all that. And there's a specific scene that's always struck with me, and I talk with my wife and son why I think it's so funny and just kind of hits to the crux of parenting. When the two girls are fighting over who gets to lick the ice cream and all that, Bluey says to Bingo, "So why don't you take this lick and then we'll lick at the same time?" And there's a negotiating going on, and Bluey says, "So I'll make a deal. You lick this, and then I'll lick that." And Bandit just responds as, "Ugh, Bluey." And that level of exhaustion as a parent, I felt very seen. Just with the daily grind of parenting, I feel like Bandit's really good at portraying that. On top of that, you got the music with the Tchaikovsky and the park scene, the Nutcracker. I think that's from. Which a thing I don't think we pointed out yet. So much of not most of it, but a good part of the appeal. The music is always really drives home the emotions, and that scene, them circling around the park in Brisbane, which I was calling Brisbane for a long time.
Wait, it's not Brisbane?
No, it's Brisbane.
Yeah, I guess the Aussies say Brisbane or something, but that whole episode is beautiful. And I think that's where we got introduced to the bin chickens as well.
The bin chicken.
Yeah, so I'm going with Ice Cream.
That's a good pick, Kevin. That's a good pick. Everyone thinks that Bandit is like you said, like such this great dad. In every episode, Bandit is just like me on his phone.
Wait, all right. I had that written down as one of our honorable mention things. I'm not sure we're gonna pick the episode, so I don't want to spoil it. But there is a spot where he's just laying down on his phone, pretending to play dead, and I was like, that would have been me. that would have been me 100%.
Belly laughing.
Like we looked at each other like, yeah.
Scarlett looked at you and it was like.
Well, and you know what? Where like the fun bandit stuff, where he's just playing. He's like a lot of dads, like probably like you guys. Like he is super fun, down for games for 7 minutes out of the day. And who knows what he's doing with the rest of his day?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I just thought of another episode.
All right, good pick, Kev. That's a good one. Steve, with my
I'm excited. My strategy for this was I was choosing episodes with my family, and my strategy was to get one for each of my 4 family members, and then we'll have like a wild card.
That's sweet.
When Monica mentioned this one episode, I was like, wow, that's going to be picked in the first round, and I'm taking Sleepy Time 100%. So we'll find another one to pick. I can't believe it's still here. Baby Race is what I'm going to pick.
Race.
Yeah.
Because
when Julie was talking about potty training and keeping up, I'm like, oh, she's going
That
with
one
Baby
was
Race.
it too. Yeah.
Yeah, Baby Race. But to keep referencing Julie, you talked about the like potential embarrassment that you feel like, oh, what if my kid doesn't as my muffin screams at the other side of the door.
The muffins of the world.
Thomas.
And the moment at the end of that episode where Chili's visited by another mom, the whole idea is it's just teaching your child to walk, or just being there, taking classes, and Bluey being a little bit slower to walk, and the other mom that comes and visits her and says, "You're doing a great job," and you just want to be seen. It's the biggest thing.
Man.
Yeah, sorry. As my muffin yells, I can hear Monica on the other side of the house yelling for him to join her. So that's where we're at.
No, but even just thinking of that scene gets me super choked up.
Yeah.
It was like they were talking right to you.
Yeah.
That is every mother's gut punch right there, because you're always scared that you're not doing it right, that you're fucking it up, that you're fucking them up. That was a large part of like my like postpartum thing. Like, well, I've ruined everyone's life because I'm going to mess this up completely.
Mm-hmm.
But God damn it, as long as you love your kids, you're doing all right. You're doing right by them. You're doing better than you think. So all you parents out there, you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job.
You're doing a great job. And just to respond to Brian's comment, with that language, how are kids supposed to know the bad words if you don't use them for them first? And that, I mean, at this point, anytime I say that, I get scolded by my kids. Ooh, daddy said a bad word.
See, I tell my kids that there are no bad words. Words in themselves are not bad. They're only bad when you use them in anger or to hurt somebody, or they're offensive to somebody. So like, don't say them if they're going to be offensive to other people, but words like if my daughter came up to me and was like, that shit's fucked up, mom, I would laugh my ass off. Like that's,
I feel the same way. I'm willing to give up a lot of my life, my body, but like I cannot give up swears. So they're just gonna have to deal with it. And they'll know, no, you're not allowed to say that, and that'll be the end of that.
I was a little taken back when Chili made a big thing about Dunny. Like, really?
Yeah.
I thought
like I'm with Bannon on that one. Come on, you can say Dunny.
Yeah. Like
It's
I
true,
got like
but like
cushion when she was like 4.
But the motivation with that is really, I just want to like, I don't want other parents to hear you say that and have a problem with that. And so it gets back to that kind of real thing of what so often we get too drawn in how is everybody else looking at how we're doing it? Or my kid is screaming in the middle of this restaurant. Please just stop screaming. But I don't know. It's real.
No, there's definitely like a keeping up with the Joneses with parenting,
Yeah.
like, oh, their kid's doing this, or our kid's not doing this.
Yeah,
stuff
that's
like
baby
There's
race.
a lot of that.
Well,
yeah.
well, there's a big difference. Like, you think it's funny when your kid says a swear word that's not so bad, but like you hear him say it on a playground in front of other parents, it'll like, my God, I'm gonna die.
I just tell my kids, don't say it in front of grandma and grandpa. That's all.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's inevitable.
Yeah.
It's inevitable. I watch too many White Sox games for them not to learn swear words.
Well, it's the Steelers.
Well,
Like,
yeah, it's a good point.
I made my son cry watching the Steelers.
She got scared. Or he got
Also, not only does Baby Ray's have the gut punch of the mom telling Chili that she's doing a good job, it also has the gut punch of when Bluey finally walks. Bingo was commenting on it, and she goes, maybe she saw something she really wants. Because she's walking towards her mother, and I'm like, oh my God. And that got to me too, because like in my family, I mean, obviously Wes is the fun one, and I'm like the not fun one. I'm the disciplinarian.
Obviously.
But listen, when shit hits the fan, everybody wants their mom. Everybody wants their mom, including my kids. So like maybe she saw something she really wanted. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. Can I put in a little asterisk before we move on? If there was anyone who thought just remotely that we might be cool to hang around with, like with our kids together, I will not swear in front of other children.
Yeah, good point.
I just want to make sure
That's a good point.
that I didn't lose that potential audience.
I'm not coming over now.
Fonseca, that's the one who swears in front of children.
It also has Baby Race also has a whole new form of movement, which my kids started doing around the house, bum shuffling.
Bum shuffling, yes.
Yes.
My oldest daughter, she didn't walk for a while. She walked on her knees. She looked like from The Exorcist. She was a knee walker for a long time. Oh, Lord, help me.
We'll point out when my dog's doing this, scratching the butt on the carpet thing.
Yeah.
It's bum shuffling.
All right, Steve, what do you got next?
All right, yeah, snaking around. So this will be my fun one, I think, but it's also emotional. I think I lean towards the emotional episodes. I think there's something beautiful about watching your kids play with other kids, especially like before they understand anything about identity. And it doesn't matter. It's just, do you want to play? Great, let's play. So I'm going to go with camping for this episode.
Camping.
I think it's incredible, but for those of you who haven't seen Story of Camping, the Healer family is away on vacation, and there's another French family that is there, and they don't speak the same language, but you watch Bluey and Jean-Luc learn how to play together, and they play again, and they play the next day, and then Jean-Luc leaves, and there's this great line from Chili where she says sometimes people just come into our lives for a short amount of time, and it's this really profound thing. And then I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's the only time we see Bluey grown up.
Yeah, I think so.
It's about, I don't know, probably 13 or 14 towards the end. Yeah. And we just hear Jean-Luc call her name, hello, Bluey, and he's learned English, and like the tree that they've planted has grown. It's just
grown.
I have to watch that one again.
The thing about this, because I just read it recently, I've seen people online, mostly Reddit, shipping Bluey and Jean-Luc. Like talking about like
I was shipping Julie and they're gonna get married.
No
they're gonna get married.
As a dad of two, or as a dad of a 6-year-old girl right now, no shipping. Yeah. No shipping allowed.
Well, I mean, at the end, she's like a teenager. We're allowed to. That's like, come on. I met my husband when I was 12 years old. Eat it.
Yeah, come on. Like you guys are like, oh, I had to have a book in school to hide my whatever.
I don't know what we're talking about. No shipping.
Fun thing, if you watch Camping it with the French dubs, that Jean-Luc talks in English.
Oh, interesting.
Little tip my son dug up.
Huh. That's fun. It is. I'm gonna do that.
Wanted to find out what he was actually saying.
Okay, nice. All right.
I have enjoyed doing that with other kids shows, changing the language just for the theme song, to hear the theme song sung in 30 different languages. Super fun. Unfortunately, the Bluey theme song, no words. But
yeah, no words. All right, Kevin, what have you got for us?
So I think at its core, Bluey is a show about kids using their imaginations and play and all that stuff, right? And learning and growing from that. And I feel like an episode that most shows that, and also an episode that I don't really have a gut puncher on my board yet. So I'm going to go with...
This is what I thought you were going to... Go ahead.
I'm going...
We can get that.
Oh,
Rug
Kevin... Rug Island.
So
Rug Island.
Yeah, I'm surprised that's still around too. That's a great episode.
So yeah, it's mostly because it really takes the imagination to the next level with the world building and so much of what I see in my own son and his play, and just every aspect. And it's all, I think, in the spirit of it, it's basically just out of the kids getting a bunch of felt pens from mom, and building so much out of that, and it really, the one that always gets me is the end when I think it's Bingo hands the pen to Bandit, and Chili asks, what did she give you? And he says, everything. I was like, yeah, with the music and all that, it always gets me. But yeah, that episode is beautiful.
Was that the one with the markers and they were
Yep.
stacking them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If first time I saw it, I'm like, what are they playing with? And you watch it again, they say it's these felt pens. But
Also, good appearance by Lucky's dad in that one.
Yes, another Lucky's dad appearance.
Yeah. So that's a good one. We just watched that one not too long ago.
No,
Poor Lucky's dad.
I just realized yesterday that one comes after Sleepy Time, and that is a 1-2 punch.
Yeah,
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. And just, I think as a working parent too, I can just relate to Bandits. At the beginning of the episode, he has to go to work, and Bingo and Bluey are just devastated that he can't stay and play. And that's every morning, isn't it? Isn't that every morning?
Right. Well, and again, like fighting back on the notion that like Bandit's just always down to play. There are plenty of episodes where they show they're too busy, and the kids have to kind of manage themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Quiz time. Do you all know what Bandit's job is?
Isn't he a digger? He's a
paleontologist.
Or
Archaeologist. Okay.
And Chili supposedly runs airport security.
Yes.
Ah, okay. That's a good pick, Kev. Your board's looking pretty sexy.
I'm winning, guys. I'm sorry.
I don't know if you're winning, but it's like I said earlier, while this draft will have one winner, there will be no losers because you can't pick a bad episode of Bluey.
Steve has Sleepy Time, so I'm willing to concede that.
Well, that was 1-1. I mean, you can't mess that up.
That's a clear 1-1.
He had it. He didn't mess it up, and it's still.
Team Fonseca, blow us out of the water. What do you got?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like the little look there. No,
we
have
a list. We have a
We
list.
think we're changing the order.
We're changing our order because I think we could get one on the wrapper up. So,
okay. All right.
And I was pissed. Drew Bogues is in the comments tipping picks.
Yeah, no tippers.
So he's like, you guys got to draft this. I'm like, it was still 6 picks before our turn or whatever. But we're going whale watching because we've all been there. Don't lie if you haven't. When a little bit after a whiskey at Comiskey or after a White Sox game, I might be a little bit too hungover to actually parent, and you don't want to do anything, but you still have to because you're responsible for your demon children, and you have to play with them while you're hungover. And I felt every bit like both Bandit and Chili in those episodes where it's like, oh man, at that point, for people I haven't watched or whatever, they go out for New Year's. So it was New Year's Eve. They went out and they kind of like hint at like, oh yeah, like people were doing cannonballs in the pool and this and that, and they had a fun night. And then you got a parent the next day. So I love that episode just because I felt, like you said, I felt seen.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
I felt seen when Chili used the game for the kids to go get her potato chips out of the kitchen. Yeah. As I said, I love potato chips.
Yeah.
And we keep them in a low cabinet in case I need to send someone for them.
Yeah, they ask her, what do whales eat? And it's like, well, typically they eat green things and plants, but today they eat corn chips. And then they go get the bag of corn chips.
There's a couple episodes that show Chili and Bandit like just kind of phoning it in. Those are some of the best ones.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about great parenting every once in a while. You got to punt on a day.
And I don't want to give away any picks, but like there's another episode like that. And like I like how Chili and Bandit always like kind of tag team it. That's the only one that I can remember that they were both down at the same time.
Yeah.
Is there a mountain involved?
There is a mountain involved.
Okay.
Hey guys, real quick for the board, it was whale watching.
Whale watching.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Who was that?
Yeah. What are you doing right now? Pay attention, Brian.
Wow. The voice just came out of nowhere.
I'm gonna remove you from the show, Steve.
Okay.
Also,
so
it's not whale watching. Thank you.
He's got it. Thank you, Brian. Let's give it up for Brian.
I hate all of you except Jackie.
Thanks, Brian.
Oh my god.
Thanks, Brian.
Sean says, "Don't
You're-
pay attention to the man behind the board." Oh, Muffin. I heard him again. All right. So I have my next pick ready, but I wasn't really ready for the wraparound. But I'm again gonna go sentimental. So my family has had a lot of recent illness. So I cannot not pick Bumpy and the Wise Old Wolfhound. And that's the episode where Bingo is in the hospital and Bluey and Bandit send her a video of like a play that they made
I do remember.
where everyone to explain to Bingo that everyone gets sick sometimes and that's just part of life. Everyone gets sick. And you know, in the past 5 years or so, I've spent a lot of time in hospitals. So that one just punched me right in the gut. I don't know how else to explain it. It's just a beautiful episode with a hard truth about life. And I like that they packaged it so cutely for kids. It was a really good one.
So we have Sean in the comments that says purple underwear.
Yeah.
Part of the video.
Yeah. Yeah. Sean's not crazy. You know,
So
that's
like,
part of the episode.
They do a good job of picking you up in those ones where they know they're going to pull on the heartstrings.
And bum worms. We talked about that.
And bum worms.
Bum worms.
Yeah.
I got bum
And
worms.
it's got bum worms.
That might
Oh,
turn into a podcast segment. Bum worms.
So wait,
I
you
like
guys get those too?
So that was
God.
a good one. And let me see with my wraparound what I'm going to do. There's so many good ones. We're going 5 rounds. Okay. So I can't believe this is still here. I'm going with Flat Pack, which is my
That's a
daughter's
good one.
favorite episode. Kevin, that's what I thought your first pick was going to be. That's what you had told me it was going to be.
Yeah,
Flat Pack.
I think I thought I told you Rug Island on the chat, but I forget.
Okay. No, so Flat Pack is the one where Chili and Bandit get like an IKEA swing to put together, and the kids just use their imagination and they use all the discarded packaging to like do some pretend play, and it ends up telling like the story of evolution. And at the end, it's very sweet where they Bluey goes and sits on the completed swing with her parents, and it's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, were you gonna pick that, Julie?
No, I'm writing it
I
down
just-
because I have to like rewatch some of them. I
Definitely
remember
rewatch
them,
them.
but there's some where I'm like, the title must have not have hit me.
So that's the
and
thing.
then I forgot. Just like the shopping one, I didn't know where it was. I remembered the moment. So.
Yeah, we talked about it pre-show. Like, we know so much about the show, but then like doing the research, like, oh, that's not the title, or that's not the name of the episode I thought it was.
Flat Pack is good because throughout the episode, Bingo pretends like she's growing up, and at the end, and Bluey is pretending to be the mother, and at the end, like Bingo is all grown up and going out on her own, and like she's kind of sad about that. Again, like that's one of many episodes that speak to that. Like a parent's greatest accomplishment and greatest heartache is teaching your kids not to need you and letting them go.
Yeah.
Oh, so Flat Pack is my answer. That's a good one. Definitely rewatch it, Julie. Definitely rewatch
Okay,
it.
well, this is getting tough, man. I've cried almost every round.
I mean,
Try
Jackie,
again.
you got an emo playlist on your board. I mean,
I do. Well, that's why I like Bluey, man. I'll go funny next round.
No.
What do you,
Keep it running.
all right. Well, what do you got, Baloney? What do you got? Are you going sentimental or are you going funny? Let me hear it.
This is another one of our. I'll let you pick it, but it's one of our. I mean, another one of the We Feel Seen episodes.
This one?
Yeah.
It's okay?
Yeah.
Okay. The Decider for
The
season
Decider!
3. Is one of the last
You got a
ones that just
newbie.
came
That's
out.
a new
It's a new
one.
one. Yeah, it's one of the new ones.
That
The
excellent.
mom
Excellent.
sitting across the street.
So
Oh my god.
she's gonna get emotional. As you guys can see, we're a split family when it comes to sports. Julie is a diehard Steelers fan. I'm a Bears fan. Our firstborn is now 6. She's made the decision to be a Steelers fan with her mom. Our youngest boy is not enough. He's not old enough to figure out that the Bears
Undecided.
stink. He's undecided.
Undecided.
But we related to this episode so bad. We were both bawling because it's like a family rooting for sports and, you know, making your decision and letting the children make their decision, which is, I think,
Yeah.
important, especially when we care so much about this stupid game. So I think this is a new episode, which we only saw it a couple times since it released, but it was like it was written for us. It was like, holy cow, this is crazy.
Watching
Bandits-
the mom across the street, sorry, but like by herself, because I watch all the games by myself, and seeing her by herself was like, oh man. So when Scarlett said she wanted to be a Steelers fan like me, like on the inside, I was like, you can pick what you want. She liked the Dolphins logo, and I was like, fuck. But when
Did
she
you have
said
popcorn? Did you
it
have
like
popcorn
broke
at
my
the time?
heart. No, but it broke my. I was so happy that she said she wanted to be a Steelers fan, because now I'm like, we're gonna do road trips like all the way till she's in her 20s, and it's gonna be like our thing. I told Peter, if she ever says I don't feel like going with mom, for him to tell her, don't break her heart, you have to go.
Oh. No, because you get the wraparound at the end, because you're both White Sox fans, and that's the gold team.
Yeah, so
At the
then
end.
yeah,
There you
no.
go. Bandits full body
There
paint,
you go, Jackie.
Yes.
Think about
Right.
that.
The full body paint.
next level. So
exactly. And it's like, oh, we're
Oh.
ordering pizzas and we got snacks and stuff like that. Like, it's just, you know, Sundays in football household.
good. We have to distract you with orange and blue rather than the product on the field.
I
Right.
didn't think to compare the last part to the Sox. It's like perfect.
That's the gold team. Oh, that's a nice pick. I didn't think the new ones were going to get much love, so I'm happy that
No,
you.
we
I know.
love the new ones. We
I know.
the 10 new episodes we really liked.
I just haven't
So-
watched them 60 times yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
Steve
it was
and I know there are more season 3 episodes out there, and when those drop, I almost feel sorry for everybody, because there are some
Sent me the link to that.
Where
Did
are you
I-
finding them?
on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was a Facebook page dedicated to Bluey and Bandits. Like if you were a mom, you were not allowed in the page. You had to be a dad.
Oh.
It's all about bandit stuff, but for a while there was like a Google Drive that had several episodes that would release in Australia before they would come here. Then the group got way too popular, and it's like tens of thousands of members. I wish I started it.
Steve, did you start that Facebook
I did
page?
not. I was an early adopter, but I did not start it. But now, Sean, it's probably the same. It's probably the same group.
Yeah.
I think the show or somebody shut it down, where they said, we will shut down the page if you keep sharing this Google Drive with all of these episodes.
Well, they're on TikTok, and I thought that when these new episodes dropped, that they were all gonna drop, and I was gonna blow everyone out of the water. Dragon was gonna be my first pick, but
Yeah. Oh man, I wish so too. Dragon's so good.
Dragon is so good. We can't pick it because our rule was it had to be on Disney Plus
Yeah.
in order to draft it. So
Now I want to see it so bad.
I'm gonna send it to you. I'll send you
Okay.
a link. Okay.
We'll hook you up.
All right, Kev, what do you got?
So I'm gonna pick Dragon.
You can't pick Dragon.
You mother effer.
Did you watch it when I?
I
sent it
haven't
to you?
watched it. I haven't watched it.
Oh shit!
I've
Brian,
been wanting to
kick
get
Kevin
to
out.
it. So speaking of unreleased episodes, it was eventually released, but one of the things I love about Bluey so much and is that I try to tell my older siblings who have kids that have long past grown up that it's just different from any kid show you've ever really seen. You got to see it, and so this episode kind of stands out for me. It's a family meeting.
Oh yes.
To get right to the point, a kid show that really tackles farting in front of your kids.
No, fluffying.
Fluffing.
Yes, fluffing, as they call it. It's amazing. Plus a little courtroom cosplay in there as well. But really, really honest take on fluffying, and not to mention got some press. I remember when it came out because Disney Plus, if you remember, released the first 25 episodes of season 3 and left this one off on the original release. For reasons I'm assuming is because they talk about farting, which is ridiculous. So
Drew Bogues in the comments said LOL farting, which is true because farting is always funny.
Exactly.
It's always funny. Always. I've paid Beefloaf to do farts on his show.
The pooter.
Johnny, you have to watch these episodes.
Yeah, so I mean, for mostly, I'm picking this episode because it's
time.
hilarious, and really appreciate the show tackling this angle, and likewise, as soon as I found out this wasn't released, I like many Bluey fanatics, went out and sought it on Reddit or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm
glad they did change their mind though.
Yes, it wasn't long after.
Yeah, I get the pause, but I'm very glad they decided to go through with it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Don't be ashamed of farting, people.
Fluffing.
It is a natural.
Fluffing.
No room for fart shaming.
And you know what? And I love that they didn't go with the stereotypical dad was the fluffer. Mm-mm.
Yeah, in the end, it's Chili's getting in on it.
It is, yeah.
Chili was the fluffer.
Everybody
Mom's
fluffs.
Part too.
All right, meeting's over.
Right. Get out of here.
I did mention it in the tweet earlier.
Yeah, no
fluffing in the comments. No fluffing in the comments.
I'm surprised you didn't pick it.
I'm talking to you, Johnny.
I just thought of another one, and I don't know what the episode is. I'm gonna have to ask you guys.
We're gonna definitely.
Well, hold on, we got one more round.
We got 5 minutes to get it.
I was about to say we have a litany list of honorable mentions.
And we're closing in.
What I was writing it down for.
We're closing in on an hour, so I'm moving this along because our dump lists are going to be very, very long. Steve,
wrap it up. I'm tired.
Steve's got 2 picks coming up. Let me hear them.
Yeah. So I looked at my list and I realized I need more Bandit. I need a lot more Bandit. So I'm going to go with Fairy Tale.
Yes, the old school episode.
Yeah.
That also has a fluff on that episode.
It was the 80s.
It was the
80s.
It was the 80s. Yeah, Fairy Tale is incredible. It
is cool.
It nails all the nostalgia from that era. And it's just fun. And I love the idea that the one thing that I connect with is my wife and I, when we met, it was her last week of senior year in college. I was a sophomore. We became Facebook friends, and we realized that there had been a picture tagged of us 2 years or a year earlier, where we were standing next to each other at a pro gay rights march on campus.
Nice.
No idea. We're just standing next to each other in this picture. We're way in the background, and we realize that there's this connection of us being in the same space without even knowing one another, without even really talking to one another. And I love the idea at the end here where Bandit has built it into his sort of history, his fairy tale that he met Chili as a kid, and Chili was the one that unjinxed him, and she has no memory of it, of course. But I think it's just such a nice little Easter egg for people that are cheering on that relationship.
Yeah, that happened with us. So we had a mutual high school friend, and I would always meet up and say hi to him. We're in college in Marine, and I know he was around when I would talk to my friend, but we just didn't talk to each other then. And then he actually took me and that guy out on a date. Peter drove while it was a two-way date.
It was a group date, not us dating. It was just a group date.
Yeah.
And then we remembered it.
Yeah, and I was I hate my Honda Civic. And I guess the whole time when you were driving, you're like, I have a Honda Civic.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I have a similar story. Like I said, I met Wes when I was 12 and he was 17. But I met him because he is my best friend's older brother. And so we have all of these photos together when we were young, and we weren't friends. I didn't talk to him. Like, he was scary, but like now we have all those fairy tale little moments from like
Wait,
when we
have
were
you
kids.
watched The Kissing Booth on Netflix?
No.
Because that sounds like your life right now.
Really?
Yes, you have to watch it.
Okay, I will.
It's a rom-com, but it's good.
Right up my alley. Right up my alley. That's my shit. All right. Good pick. What are you rounding us out
Yeah,
with,
let's kick off the
Steve?
fifth round. So I owe Jordan now. I owe my oldest son. We'll call him my Bluey. I owe him an episode.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna pick his favorite episode, which is Housework. Which is sort of a dark horse episode.
Yeah.
But without fail, it makes him die laughing every single time. The idea of Housework is Bandit and Chili have to do work around the house, and they notice that Bluey and Bingo, who are helping them, never walk normally from room to room. They always do some sort of walking like an animal, or making noises,
the one.
or
Okay.
walking backwards, or a different dance step as they're walking. And during that scenario, that sequence, my son laughs so hard. And it doesn't matter if it's the 10th time he's watched the episode or the 20th time, he's going to laugh every single time. And so
Muffin.
Yeah. There's just such a joy of having a go-to to hear your kids laugh, because it's one of the most beautiful sounds in the world. Except for my Muffin. His laugh is a little broken, but Jordan's laugh, beautiful, just beautiful laugh. So we'll turn it on just to hear it, because it's always a joy.
See, when you said Housework, I, again, not knowing all of the episode names, I thought it was going to be the one where Bluey and Bingo pretend to like go to work and like Bandit works for them. I thought it was that one, which is also a good one.
I also I can't remember the name of that right now either.
No. Housework is a good pick, though. I don't know. I think Steve might win, but Kevin's got to.
We're going against the bums. We've seen that voting block at work. We've got.
We have the ass.
What does that mean?
We're gonna split the ass vote.
We're splitting the
God
vote.
damn it!
Yeah, that's a good point.
Splitting the ass vote, but all right.
I'm going behind Kevin. Nobody thinks Kevin can win, and I believe.
Kevin's got a good board. What are you rounding it out with, Kev?
Oh, yeah,
you're mute.
Time out. 30 seconds.
Like,
30 seconds.
Sorry. So I step away. Rookie mistake. I didn't have my laptop charged. I had to fix that. So sorry. Thank you for believing in me, Steve. I appreciate that. I'm going to pick for my last pick, Road Trip. It's I'm more sentimental to it because my family, all the road trips we've taken, we've had a lot of fun, and it's introduced some new terms to our lexicon, like gray nomads. Love Bluey's excitement to see the big peanut, Bandit's enthusiasm of getting there as quickly as possible, and
that's just a dad thing. That's such a dad road trip thing.
Well, and getting angry, getting stuck behind an RV.
It was like a group of RVs, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Big group of them. Yeah.
Another episode with great music.
Right. And I believe the loudest biscuits we get in the entire series. So it just kind of hits all my bullet points for a good Bluey episode. So yeah, I'm going with Road Trip, and feeling good, guys.
All right. That's a good board, Kev. That's a good board.
I wish we did top 10.
I know we could go another hour and a half. No,
we could. I'm gonna keep
this
to 5.
Brian has nothing to do. Brian has.
I've got stuff to do. We're going on a road trip. I need to pack. I got shit to do.
All right, we're gonna keep it quick. Our last pick is my favorite episode.
Don't pick mine.
It's guys being dudes. and that I mean a lot have to do with the Chicago Sports Bum guys being dudes. It's Stumpfest.
Stumpfest. I was deciding between Road Trip and Stumpfest.
So
Glad you told me.
I love it. I love that it's just like him and it's Ben and his brother, and then they were wanting to, get rid of these two stumps, and the kids are playing, and they have to compromise. But it's just cool to see Bandit, like I said, just guys being dudes. He wants to take an axe and just kind of get rid of this.
The wives were clearly day drinking on the porch.
Exactly. So that's what I like. And there's like a fun little Easter egg for the newer episodes.
Yes, and trading.
So they're taking out the stump, and then the ladies are in the balcony saying like, "Quit ruining the environment." And then Bandit turns around and is like, "You told me to do this," and she's like, "Oh, I did. I want a fish pond." So that's the new episode, which is another awesome episode with the workers, tradies. So they end up getting that fish pond, but it wasn't till way later. But yeah, I love it. I love that like he's just excited to get dirty and Stumpfest. And then you still have to be a parent, and you got to get your toenails painted. Now, who hasn't gotten their toenails painted? Because I have for a while.
I have as well.
Yeah,
you like it though.
It looks good.
Good.
I might rock some toenail paint for the next
Mailman Jack.
Yeah,
beautiful
Mailman
toes.
Jack knows a good pedicure and a painted toenails. So there's a good group of us.
If I remember, doesn't Lucky's dad make an appearance in Stumpfest as well?
It is Lucky. Yeah, Lucky's dad.
Yeah.
Lucky's dad is the third.
All right. That is a good pick. You told me about that at the bums get together at Jack's place.
Yeah, the taco night. So it's like I said, there's collusion involved. You were cheating and doing another favorite, a very different episode or show, Game of Thrones. You're doing the little finger stuff. You're trying to figure everything out.
How dare you? I'm moving on. Stop. Mute the Fonsecas. Mute the Fonsecas. Okay, so with my last pick, man, there are so many great ones. It's really hard to pick. What do I want to do? I think I have to go. This one related to me because I am the second oldest sibling in my family. I was the little sister. I had a big sister. And so I'm going to go with Squash. Go with Squash.
That was, we talked about that. I love that episode so much.
Me too. And I was also thinking about it when Steve picked Fairy Tale, because that's also another episode where it shows Bandit and Stripe like kind of at odds. And I very much related to that. My older sister pushed me through a drywall in our living room when we were kids, and I hit her with a metal chair. I don't really like to talk about it. But the story of Squash, Bandit and his brother are playing squash, and Bluey and Bingo are like controlling the players. And the moral of the episode is that because little brothers don't always lose, big brothers don't always win. So it's a cute episode. I'm going with Squash.
I love
Very
it.
Cute.
Excellent.
Very cute. All right, so the board looks good. I think anybody can run away with it here.
I think Sean's right. Takeaway not being selected.
Yeah, I saw that.
You know what?
We're gonna. And I wanted to.
You know what? This is a good opportunity. Before we get to our dump list, Sean sent me a list of his top 5 favorite episodes.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll pop them up.
Yeah, Brian.
I wanted to mention too, as soon as you guys finished, a takeaway was one I watched last night, and I laughed my ass off. That poor guy.
Yeah.
The shit
takeaways.
just hit the fan that whole episode.
Yep.
So anyway,
Every parent has had that day.
Oh yes.
here's Sean's list.
Okay.
Stumpfest.
The pool was one of my.
The pool
Yeah,
one was
Pass the
good
Parcel.
too. I watched that yesterday as well.
That was
Pass the Parcel is the best.
Pass the
I
Parcel.
wanted to pick that so bad.
We got the pool
Oh.
back here.
No, I like the pool because, like, again, Wes is the fun one. I am the prepared one. So I like the pool.
Only 2 of
Brian, I
Sean
can hear you
picks got
typing like
picked.
crazy.
Jeez.
Are
they're
you on like
both
an
under
old
Sean,
tiny
so-
typewriter?
It is. It's like one of those Tom Hanks things.
Right. All All right.
Oh, duck cake. That was a good
Duck
one.
cake.
Oh,
Yeah,
duck
duck cake
cake.
is a good one.
All right. So, panelists, what are your dump lists? Let me hear them. Wait, do I get to go first because I'm the host? No,
Yeah,
I'll
go
go
for it.
last.
Yeah,
No, I'll
run
go
it.
last
Yeah,
because I'm the
come on,
host.
Jackie.
All right. All right. I mean, I'm not gonna. I will. All right. The Quiet Game. Takeaway was on there. Bin Night. I'm surprised that didn't
Oh,
get
yeah,
chosen.
Bin Night's
Yeah,
great.
Midnight is so good.
The Pool was on my list. I'm surprised no one took onesies out of the new ones.
So that's the
Onesies is
one. That's the one with the bandit playing dead and just on his
Yeah,
phone.
he's like, I don't know what
He's
to
like,
tell you. I'm dead.
I don't know. I'm playing dead, and I was like, that's me.
Bob
Shadowlands is a
Bil-
great point.
Shadowlands is a
Oh,
good one.
that's
That
I
was not even
love
on my list.
Shadowlands. Oh,
Bob Bilby, where Bingo takes home the little stuffy and like, yeah. And the other one, another good Stripe episode, Horsey Ride. I liked Horsey Ride.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I thought we had.
that's a good one.
Bluey dance party.
It's crazy that among all of us, we can just name like every single episode,
Yeah.
and all of them will be picked by one of us at some point.
Steve,
You
what
know
you
the-
got?
Go next.
Oh, good.
What do I
Are
have?
we snaking again?
Oh, Julie wants to go next. She doesn't want to get her.
Okay.
her
Yeah,
her
that's a good
dump
idea.
list-
Let's do the snaking.
She doesn't want to get her
I can
dump
wait.
list
No, no, no.
going.
No, Julie,
Snaking
go.
is a
You
good
go
idea.
for it.
That's a fair way to do it. Go ahead,
Okay.
Julie.
Obstacle course,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
bandit
love-
cheating.
Yes, that's
I
the.
mean,
I love that
Wait, what was-
episode where
Which one?
where, he, so-
obstacle course.
Oh, yeah.
where they're racing and then Bandit cheats at the end.
Yeah, and Chili's trying to help Bluey like get better and be smarter doing the obstacle course, and then Bandit pulls Bluey back and beats her. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I almost picked it for that moment alone. Where Chili goes, "What was that?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is markets, Drew. That's markets.
I watched that one last night. It was pretty good too. The market one.
yay, that's good. The dump. I throw Scarlet's
Oh,
drawings away all the
the
time.
Yeah,
drawings.
the
Oh,
drawings. That's a tough one.
That's a good
Oh,
one.
but it was such a good message, and then I was able to tell her why I'm recycling all these drawings. It was awesome.
Yeah. Sticky Gecko is one of my favorites.
Oh.
Sticky Gecko is and then
Granny Mobile, the
Yeah,
mobile,
Granny
the
Mobile's
last
so
one,
good.
because
Yep,
I
yep.
love Muffin. There's another one called Helicopter. Bluey's taking all of his friends for rides on the helicopter, and the one kid climbs up there. He's like, "You dropped me off at my dad's." He's like, "Okay, well, where does your dad live?" He's like, "I don't know, but not with my mom." And I was like,
Aw.
yeah,
"What?
yeah,
What? That's crazy."
that was a good one.
And then, I think it's called Sheepdog. Chili needs 20 minutes. She just needs
Oh,
20
yeah.
minutes. Bandit takes the kids outside, acting like a sheepdog and all silly. And the next door neighbor, I can't remember her name, the Pomeranian.
Wendy.
Wendy.
Yes. Wendy's like, "What's going on over here?" And, "Where's your mom?" Because Bandit can't talk. He's acting like a sheepdog. And they're like, "Mom needs 20 minutes. And then Wendy takes them, under her wing and plays with them. Chili comes out and says, "Oh, Wendy, I'm so sorry. Is everything okay?" She's like, "Take your time, Chili. We got it. Like, everything's good over here. Like, take your time." That was pretty cool.
And one last one because it's my daughter. I know, like whenever something gets changed, it's awesome. Bingo, the one with
Yeah,
Bingo.
bingo.
Yeah.
That was a good one, too.
That was a good one.
Yeah,
Wendy is
bingo.
not a home wrecker. Sean.
No, I feel like we got to give a shout out to Wendy is being on par with Lucky's dad is just rolling with their neighbor's shit.
Right.
That was
Like in,
another one. The new ones. One of the new ones
Yeah,
where they're
yeah.
sliding in
Dirt.
the mud.
Dirt,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, dirt.
I like my favorite Wendy is during we just watched this one Ragdoll where which by the way I'm gonna backtrack. I'm gonna put Ragdoll on my dump list because I love that one because it's usually Bandit who's like, "Oh, not this game," whenever the kids are like, "Let's play,"
Yeah.
Feather Wand. Oh, not Feather Wand. But in this one, Bandit's like, "We're gonna play Ragdoll," and the kids are like, "Oh, not Ragdoll." But anyway, Wendy like picks Bandit up with her like fucking huge Pilates legs. So
Oh, I do remember that part.
Yeah, give props.
Yeah.
Wait,
And then the very last one, sorry, I don't remember the title of this one, but Bingo and Bluey are playing. I think it's hairdressers, and whatever it's a scavenger hunt, and whatever is happening, they need to go into the bathroom.
Yeah,
for
the
next
Easter,
clue.
it's the Easter episode.
Easter
Yes,
episode.
that's what it is. And
Yeah.
Bandit's in there doing the number 2. And when
Probably
Peter's
fluffing
doing the
a
number
lot.
2, like everyone in the house knows when number 2 is happening. It's about, do you really want to go down that hallway, or do you want to wait a couple hours?
that's right.
Great shot of Bandit not being able to stand it either.
Oh, Bandit.
Yeah. Is it my turn now?
No, it's Kevin's.
Oh,
Shut
man.
up,
Oh,
Steve.
sorry,
Shut
Steve.
the hell up,
Take-
Steve. Why don't you calm down?
No,
Kevin,
Take
you
that, Steve. I got some good ones
sleepy
here.
time, so Kevin, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'll wait
Thanks,
till you
Steve. I was going to say hairdressers for mainly just introducing us to Bert Handsome. Really like that one.
Very handsome. I love it.
I don't know, like that. That's my main takeaway. There's a guy named Bert Handsome. My son made this for my desk. Just a nameplate that just says Bert Handsome on it.
Amazing.
Aw, that's cute.
So I got that one. I'm surprised Rain didn't get taken.
I
know
love
it's a,
Rain.
Yeah.
I know it's a silent one. It kind of
Yeah,
more
my
on
daughter
the-
hates it. She's like, I hate
I
that
love
one.
that
I'm like,
one.
Yeah.
really?
It's more on the emotional front, but mainly the music and just kind of the message and all that. I really enjoyed that one. What else do I got? From the new season, Stories hit me pretty good. I thought that was a really good one. I like the
Winston
ending.
steals the show in that
Yes.
one.
Yes.
What was that one
Yeah, I
again?
think that's the
Stories?
Where they're
Queens
making
is
the horse out of
Yes.
beeswax.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
right.
that's
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
That's what I
Queens.
thought.
I
I like
love the whole
Queens.
Queen
Queens is
thing.
great.
That's the accents and all that. I'm really the show does have an affinity. I think you're getting a little taste of Australian culture and their affinity for the Queen.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I got.
That's a good one. Okay, Steve.
All right.
Steve.
So I'm going to give Thomas's favorites, my 2-year-old's favorites, because I didn't pick any of them. Sorry, bud.
Poor
You're right.
Thomas.
Explorer and Pizza Girls are 2 that he loves.
Oh,
I think Pizza.
Explorer
I don't
is
know if that's the
awesome.
title, but the pizza one where Muffin has the new car that's super fancy that they have to wait to charge. But the ones that I think are actually on my dump list. Dance Mode, I think is great. It's
Someone had asked that in the comments earlier, like, what's the one with the yes/no button?
Yeah.
That's Dance Mode.
I think Fruit Bat is a lot of fun.
I love Fruit Bat.
Mini Bluey, I think is
Mini Bluey is
great.
fun.
It's so good. And then 2 more. Bus, which I think is the best utilization of the grannies.
Of the grannies.
It's
Yeah.
incredible. And then one that I'm surprised didn't get picked. Escape, the hand-drawn one.
I love that
yeah.
one.
That was
No,
on
you
my
have
list
to
as well,
pretend
yeah.
that we like chasing you.
Yeah.
Jacki, you love
I knew you were gonna
everyone.
pick that one,
I
Jackie.
do. There's
Yeah.
no bad episode.
Escape is in
Um,
the same
alright.
world as Dragon. So like,
One
I was
last-
gonna say, like, spoiler alert, Dragons is
Yeah.
kind of like that.
I got one last one because it's something me and my daughter play all the time. I'm sure everybody does. It's Keepy Uppy. I mean, it's a game we play
Yeah.
now. We play
Yeah.
Keepy Uppy. There's a balloon in the house all the time.
That was
We
the
play
first
Keepy Uppy.
episode I watched.
Keepy Uppy?
When I started, yeah.
After the first episode, you're like, I don't like this. Now what do you say?
now you're
Now what do you
50,
say?
70
If I
episodes
had
in, you can't
if I
stop.
had a kid, I think it was the most wonderful thing in the world. So
If you
But
had a
you don't-
heart,
I don't
The
have
thing is,
a
like-
heart either. So thanks, Kevin. Thanks.
The thing
Thanks
is,
for
you don't
reminding me.
you don't need to have a kid. I mean, obviously, like we said this before, it is a children's show. That's its main demographic, but you don't have to be a child or a parent. It's anyone who has once been a child is going to be able to relate to these episodes and see themselves in different characters and different scenarios. So it's really, you don't need to be a parent. You don't need to be a kid.
Brian,
Well,
we-
the
Brian,
problem is
Brian was
Brian is.
born as a 42-year-old.
I was about to say Brian is Benjamin Button.
Right.
He's going in reverse. So I'm
You
sorry.
know what's awesome? We all said different stuff, but when we said our stuff, everybody got excited. Like you guys named everything that I had texted Peter pretty much. The only one we didn't talk about, I think, was chest, and that's when Bandit is teaching Bluey how to play chess, and what the different
Oh.
pieces mean.
Yeah.
And then Chili
It's
comes over, like, trying to bust Bandit's balls, which I did to Peter all the time. And then she ends up going back and saying good things about him and stuff.
Chili's reaction to when Bandit says that the king can do whatever it wants, or is the most powerful.
Yeah, the most powerful.
The queen, yeah.
I want to mention in the new episode, I'm surprised no one picked Space. I really liked Space. That's a side episode about Mackenzie. And their friend Mackenzie has like depression or anxiety, and that's an episode about that and like how he kind of like plays to work through it. And that made me cry probably harder than any of those new episodes.
The new 10 episodes, I cried about 5 of the 10 episodes.
You didn't pick Turtle Boy or didn't even mention it. You didn't even mention Turtle Boy.
We started the thing saying like we can't pick Turtle Boy first round, and then it fell.
I want Granny Mobile and everything.
I love Turtle Boy.
I do want to give a shout out though to Xylophone, the first episode, because it was like I was hooked since then. So that it's a tough episode, to reel you in that first 7 minutes, and I think we just binged it day one.
And Freeze is like the game that everybody plays now.
So let me just ask, what was everyone's? So Julie's first episode that she saw was the Xylophone. My first episode that I saw was the one where they're going on a walk and the kids are tired and like the parents keep using. Yeah. I think it's just called The Walk. I don't know the name of it, but that was the first one I saw that hooked me. I'm like, that's so relatable. What about you guys?
No, we were hooked from Xylophone.
Yeah, it was Xylophone.
I think it was camping.
Yeah, we just started in order.
It was camping.
Yeah.
Okay. Because my kids watched it for a while before I started watching it too. I don't give a shit.
I don't know how we saw it, actually. I don't remember.
So my piggyback. Memory, thank you, Sean.
My memory is fuzzy. I remember. So we have really close friends, Rick and Amy. I don't remember we told them to start watching it or they told us to start watching it.
Yeah.
But we started watching it around the same time.
Take the credit. You told them.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
You could have said that and no one would have questioned it, Peter. No one would have said shit to you.
Do you guys see they have an Airbnb that's exactly a replica of that?
In Australia.
Yeah. I'll try to find the YouTube link to send to you.
Okay, you send me that YouTube link. I'm going to send you Dragon.
I want to see Dragon.
Okay. I should have meant mine. I actually, we got hooked from the beginning, but we did skip ahead because I saw everybody talking about Sleepy Time. That we kind of skipped ahead to check that one out. And that's when my wife and I and my son, we were like, this show's on another level.
Even my daughter, my 7-year-old daughter cried at Sleepy Time.
Yeah.
Like when Fluffy goes to the Saturn rings and Bingo starts crying. My daughter cried at that. And then I cried. And then Maggie laughed.
And then we all cried.
Such a little trooper.
Yeah.
I cried when Bandit threw his underwear to get warm under.
Yeah.
Oh, the last shot in that of Chili just stretching out in her.
Yeah, with a big smile.
That's the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
Did anybody's kids start in the same room and then separate at all? Because bedrooms, the first one for season 3, when they split rooms, it was so cute, the note passing and everything.
So, yeah, our kids do what we call half sleepovers, where when they begin bedtime, they're in one of their rooms together for like an hour and they get to play. And then after an hour, they both have to retire to their own rooms to go to sleep. So
they have to adjourn.
They do. You got to get some goddamn sleep.
Yeah, I do half sleepovers where I watch the first 3 innings of a White Sox game and then I pass out because they stink.
As one does.
Hey, they're coming back. It's 11-9 right now.
Oh, the White Sox are like just a big episode.
They're in the bottom of the 8th.
The White Sox are just a long episode of Sleepy Time.
Just make you cry all the time.
I cry so much at Bluey. So. Anyway, Brian, thank you for letting us have this episode.
This is fun.
Just take the show. I don't need it anymore. You guys it's okay.
I like it better when you host because then I can.
Okay, maybe I'll keep doing it then. Jeez.
Because then I don't have to stay sober. So.
Also, I'm sorry. I feel like I talked a lot.
You did not. You were great. No, you were great.
Not at all.
You were
Thanks,
great.
Brian.
Will you shut up, Julie?
God damn it, Julie. Brian, wrap us up.
Shut it, woman.
Oh, thank you guys for doing this. This was far more entertaining than I initially had thought when you guys first, I don't know how to describe it. You guys just like forced me into this episode.
I did. I tweeted. I was like,
Peer pressure,
so don't you think Brian
like,
should do this episode?
within,
Yes or
like,
yes.
Within like 2 minutes of you tweeting that,
I got the
Bologna
MSS
was
retweet.
texting me like, you have to do that, right? Like, oh god, dude.
Hell yeah.
I got Pinols in my DMs. We're pushing it through.
I did try to watch as many as I could, but I didn't get far enough where I was confident to actually draft. But
where are you at, Brian? Did you start?
I've watched. No, I started, and then I yesterday.
time.
I just started picking episodes. I was like, "Ooh, sleepy time. Ooh, camping."
Oh,
Yeah, you have. So now you have to watch everything on the board.
Yeah, draft order.
No,
Draft
like I
order.
said earlier, I'm gonna drop acid and binge all these. So
That's actually a good. I had a few people in the comments saying that they've never watched an episode, but they would like to start.
That's a great
Watch
Yeah.
this board.
Yeah.
This
Draft
is
order is
yeah, I mean,
actually good.
if you have a kid and your kid hasn't watched this show or you haven't watched this with them, then I think
Then your kid's worthless.
you're a terrible parent.
And,
No,
if,
kidding.
and if no one knows, there's 7 minutes. If no one knows,
Yeah,
There's-
exactly.
there's
That's the
episodes.
beauty of it, right?
I was telling
Hey.
that to White Sox Joy, the White Sox Twitter mom, today. I was like, they're easy watches. 8 minutes. You can fly through them, have a few drinks. You're gonna have a good time. Watch
Hey,
this
Brian.
board.
Brian, next episode, Cop Rock draft.
I'm in.
Cop Rock. What is
You've
Cop
never
Rock?
seen Cop Rock?
Look up
Okay.
Cop Rock.
Look up Cop Rock.
That's a fantastic idea. Nobody will watch that episode though, Kevin.
I'm afraid to look that
I'll
up.
tune in. I'll tune in for you.
I don't know
Me
what
too.
the
I don't
hell
wanna
you guys
get
are
a
talking
virus,
about,
man.
but I'll
Oh
be
my
in the
god,
con-
I can't
I
believe
get a
we're on
virus.
Cop Rock.
But all
Are
right.
we that old, Brian?
Yeah, we are. We're really
No.
old.
Okay.
ACAB,
we
let's
are-
keep going.
But all right, guys. Thanks again, everybody in the chat. Drew, Sean, Jen, everybody. Just thanks for communicating with them. Made the show really well. Yeah, that's about it. Bologna, you got anything coming up outside of your?
the Bumpcast every Monday night, but more Whiskey at Comiskey next Saturday. The 29th, is it?
I mean, do you have anything that's happening tomorrow or anything?
You son of a bitch. That's what I was going to lead into. I was going to say, forget
it's so-
about all that stuff.
I'm not hosting tonight. I don't want to have to
He's gonna
wrap
be
it all up.
on.
AEW playback tomorrow night. Quite possibly the most important and the most entertaining wrestling match on free TV ever.
Yeah. If you don't watch
A
wrestling,
bold
you should watch
claim.
it.
A bold
A
claim.
bold claim.
A bold claim, but I'm standing by it.
Don't
It's so
forget
funny
about
that the
it.
Bluey episode is the one where everyone's like, "You son of a bitch!" Like we said that like 8 times.
So yes.
Oh.
All right on. Well, that's about it.
Whoa!
what-
You're just
what?
gonna.
What?
Me
what do
and
you got?
Steve have things to plug.
Well, yeah, Asscast. I'm sorry. Of course.
The ass plugs.
Yes, the ass plugs. Steve, are you on Thursday?
I am not on Thursday.
Neither am I. But watch our friends on the Asscast Thursday at 7. It's a
Neither of
good,
us are doing anything. But
Yeah, we just
watch
show up.
us.
We show up when we want.
I will be on vacation. But Tommy Barbie is going to be the guest on
Ooh, that's a
this
good one.
week's episode, so that's going to be good. And then you can also, I'm trying to get back into the baseball stuff after taking a little sabbatical in the first half. So make sure that you go over to Southside Sox and start reading my baseball stuff.
Right on.
I have no plugs. Maybe one day I'll have a plug.
Kevin, do you have a plug for the drain?
Find me on Friendster. No, thanks for it's very nice to meet you all. Thanks for having me on, Bri and
Likewise.
Jackie. Thank you.
Anytime, buddy.
Yeah, anytime.
But, all right. So next week, I think we're gonna do another draft, but I'm not sure which. So I still got like my list of ideas. 2 weeks we're doing legal things that should be illegal.
Okay.
That's Caitlin Reeves, HBIC, and Stoop.
Oh no!
Oh, I'm so frightened. What?
HBIC and
Yes.
Stoop together
Hold
is
on.
going to be the best.
Hold
Time
on.
out. Time out. Let me break this down for a good 20 minutes.
No,
I'm so excited for Stoop Kid and
People are gonna be like
Jason
hiding
James.
under their
This is
their couches or whatever, you know.
Uh,
I love it.
Stoop is Wes's favorite White Sox Twitter friend that I have. Sorry.
I think we need a
goddamn
watch party
maniac.
for
That's
this
hurtful.
one.
I am. I'm gonna do a watch playback for the Drafty Pod.
Nice.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. And that's it. Let's wrap it up.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thanks.